have you seen any reaction of amine that we are doing with ozone? Have you studied any of these reactions? So we have not studied this reaction. It is not there in our NCERT. It's an extra reaction which is there. Extra reaction, chance of getting asked in NEET exam, almost negligible, 0. I will explain such reactions. Okay, you see, if you can understand, that's well and good. Maybe you're writing multiple competitive exam, maybe you're also interested in JMIN and all, then it makes sense for you to learn it. So I'll explain it. I will just point out to you, I was just going through all these questions. Around few questions are very easy. So those questions I'll expect you to do before I solve them. Such questions I will go on explaining. So this reaction where we are oxidizing amines by using ozone are called as Cope reaction or Cope elimination. Now, I don't think you had Cope elimination in your syllabus, in your NEET syllabus also when we studied this chapter, but you have studied a similar reaction in NEET part, NEET stage 2 part, and that is Hoffman's elimination. Hoffman elimination is the opposite of Sedzeff elimination. So Sedzeff, we know it is in PU part only. In Sedzeff, we remove hydrogen from carbon having less hydrogen, right, to give an alkene. In Hoffman elimination, we remove hydrogen from a carbon having more hydrogen. Cope elimination is also similar to Hoffman's elimination. So let's just see what this is and what happens here. The first thing, when you're adding ozone, oxidation takes place. So instead of adding ozone, you can use something which is an oxidizing agent like peroxide. So nitrogen forms a bond, a coordinate bond actually with oxygen. This is the first step. When you're heating this compound, now elimination takes place. So from this carbon, this whole group is lost. Okay. And from the adjacent carbon, here we don't have any options. There's only one adjacent carbon. So from this carbon, hydrogen is lost, giving you a double bond here between these two carbons. That is, you're getting product, cyclohexane, and here you have a double bond, such type of structure. This hydrogen, it goes with this oxygen and it forms this compound NCH3, CH3, and here you get OH. So something like hydroxylamine. You remember hydroxylamine, NH2OH? So here we are getting dimethyl hydroxylamine, 2 methyl groups instead of 2 hydrogens. So anyway, the byproduct is not important. This is the main product that you're getting. Option D is our answer. Any doubts? So like I was telling, if you're writing only NEET exam, then this question not very important, I feel. Let's go to the next question now. Okay, this is a question that you should solve before me. So I'm giving you all few seconds. Get started, children. Don't see the answer. You try to do this yourself. Come on, I'm waiting for you here. Everyone should be having a rough book and a pen, and quickly you should be noting down these reactions. It's very easy. It's pakka a NEET type of a question only. Got the answer, right? Okay, fine. Let's check that. Check it. So those who didn't get it. So when we are adding this reaction is some age-old reaction from haloalkanes we are studying. Chloride is replaced by cyanide, CH3, CH2, CN. Same thing if you had used AgCN, I would have got NC, isocyanide. Okay, nickel and hydrogen, catalytic reduction. So CN will become CH3, CH2, CH2, NH2. That is, you added hydrogen here to this. So CN became CH2, NH2. Next, we are adding acetic anhydride. When you add acetic anhydride, remember acetic anhydride and acetyl chloride, both are the similar reagents. They are used for acetylation. So remove this hydrogen with this part and you're getting their COCH3. It is used for acylation. So CH2, CH2, NH, COCH3. Your amine group is acetylated COCH3 obtained. Answer is option A. 3 simple questions here combined together and asked. Let's go to the next question. Very good, all those who could tell me the answer. Next one. Okay, so consider the following ions. Are you seeing that they are all diazonium, benzene diazonium? The reactivities of these ions in azo coupling reaction. Children, I forgot to revise for you diazonium reactions. Should I revise or are you all thorough with it? So azo coupling, only if you ask, I'll revise, otherwise we'll continue. Azo coupling is one of those reactions. If you start with benzene diazonium chloride, like this it looks. And if you're adding any compound which is rich in electrons, benzene which is rich in electrons. So to make this benzene more electron rich, we take a plus M group like NH2 or OH or NMe twice. All these are groups that we take on benzene. It's an electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction. This is an electron rich compound. This is my electrophile, that is my electron deficient compound. And it's going to attach to the aromatic ring, this ring. Okay, so this ring is going to attach. At ortho also a little bit you'll get para position you will get. Okay, so this diazo group attaches to the para position. Yeah, I'll explain, children. Diazonium. First, let's follow this coupling reaction. So you will be getting like this benzene, and then you have N, double bond N, and then you have once again benzene, and then you have NH2. This part here is called as azo. This whole part is called as azobenzene. And at para position, you have amino. So the compound is called as para amino azobenzene. These compounds are brightly colored. And this particular compound is yellow in color. So this is coupling reaction. The question we are asking here is, out of all these ions, who will undergo coupling reaction faster? So always see properly. Are they asking the diazonium group? The diazonium group should be as electron deficient as possible. Are they asking the other compound? That should be as electron rich as possible. Okay, in the same coupling reaction, we need two things. One is an electrophile, one is a nucleophile. So you can make out by seeing they are clearly talking about diazonium group. So the diazonium compound should be an electrophile. It should be electron deficient. So who is out of these groups? We know that NMe2 is a very, very electron releasing group. Plus M effect is strongest. It's an electron releasing group. As compared to OCH3 out of these examples. As compared to CH3, as compared to Cl. So who is making the benzene electrophilic? Who is making the diazo compound electrophilic? Cl. As compared to CH3, OCH3, NMe twice. Meaning the most reactive will be 4 as compared to 3, 2, 1. That is the correct answer is option C. 4 greater than 3 greater than 2 greater than 1. Did you understand this concept? It should be electrophile, electron deficient, electron withdrawing group should be present. If they are asking with respect to aromatic ring, benzene type of compound, it should be electron rich, electron releasing group should be present on it. We will quickly go through our diazonium reactions. We can just look at this chart and quickly go through, so that will save time. You don't need much time. Chart I know looks huge, but actually it's nothing. There are hardly any reactions here. Already most of the reactions we have studied in previous chapter. Let's quickly go through this. So first thing, Sandmeyer's reaction. In Sandmeyer's reaction, you can add cuprous chloride, HCl, cuprous bromide, HBr, and copocyanide, KCN. To get chlorobenzene, bromobenzene, benzonitrile, we know this as Sandmeyer's reaction. Every time N2 group is a byproduct, it's a good leaving group. Similarly, in Gattermann's reaction, we get the same product. We start with the same reactant. The only difference is now we are using copper in HCl, not cuprous chloride. We are using copper in HCl, copper in HBr, and copper in KCN. So this is Gattermann's reaction. Who gives a better product? Sandmeyer's only gives a better product. Okay, so just Gattermann tried that idea, but better product is obtained in Sandmeyer's. Okay, coming next here, benzene diazonium chloride. If we prepared chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. If you want iodobenzene, then you should be adding Ki. Ki, when you add, you get iodobenzene. If you want fluorobenzene, you need to do two steps. First is add fluoroboric acid. Here I am, children. So first is we are using fluoroboric acid. So fluoroboric acid gives this type of benzene diazonium fluoroborate. And on heating, BF3N2 and all is lost, we get fluorobenzene. Okay. On the same compound, when you are reacting with NaNO2, nitrobenzene is also formed. So you can see how easily we can put various groups on benzene. Very, very important. The next two things. This, of course, is important for PU itself. How does aniline give phenol? How can phenol be prepared from aniline is a question important in PU. We first convert aniline to benzene diazonium chloride by diazotization. And then you are warming with water. H2O you're adding, that's all, to get OH attached to benzene, that is phenol. Lastly, this is an important competitive part. When you are using H3PO2 or ethanol when you are using, you're adding hydrogen instead of that diazonium group. So this is giving us benzene. This reaction is called as reduction reaction. So you're getting benzene there. These are the different things that we can add on to instead of diazonium group. Fluoro by HBF4 and heating. Chloro, bromo, cyano by either Sandmeyer's or Gattermann's. Iodo by using Ki. OH by warming with water. And hydrogen by using reducing reagent H3PO2 or ethanol. Coupling reaction is also there that I just explained to you. So I'm not writing that. In coupling reaction, N2 group is not lost. It is retained and we get brightly colored azo dyes. Any questions, children? Okay, let's go next now. Let's go to our question. We had done few questions. So yeah, let's come here. So in this question, which of the following compounds does not react with NaNO2 HCl? So does not react, they're asking. First of all, we know that C6H5NH2 aniline surely reacts with NaNO2 and HCl. This is our PU part. But the rest of it is not your PU part. That is, it's not your NCRT part. It's more than that, slightly higher level question. So phenol, it's a very electron rich compound. So when you're adding NaNO2 HCl, nitrous acid, then the nitroso part, this part is called as nitroso part. It has a positive charge. It goes and attaches to para position, electrophilic aromatic substitution. Para nitroso phenol is obtained there. So phenol also reacts with NaNO2 HCl, does not give diazonium, that only this can give, option B can give. Similarly, when you're considering nitroalkane, this actually comes in the part of your test, Victor-Mayer test, which you studied in alcohol. Once again, not in NCRT, extra test that you studied in your stage 2 level. Not sure if you remember. So in Victor-Mayer test, you start with primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, and tertiary alcohol. You do a series of reactions. So RBC, Okay, correct. RBC test. Very good. Good that you remember. Okay, so you do a series of reactions. So first what you do is you treat it with phosphorus and halogen. So your alcohol becomes a haloalkane. Next, what you do is you treat it with AgNO2. So your haloalkane becomes nitro compounds. So the third reaction is you react it with nitrous acid. So this part is there, right? So now what you have here after doing the second step, you're having actually primary, secondary, tertiary nitroalkane only. So two primary, secondary, tertiary nitroalkane, how will you distinguish? Same thing. Victor Mayer test, RBC test. So the last step is pending. So who is reacting with nitrous acid? Primary surely reacts, it's giving you red color. Secondary reacts, it's giving you blue color. Tertiary nitroalkane does not react, so we are getting colorless solution. Okay. If you want, I can show you the reaction, but a little bit extra it will be. So you can just remember this RBC. So tertiary nitroalkane will not be reacting there. So let me know if you're interested. So answer is who does not react with NaNO2 HCl is tertiary nitroalkane. As I was telling you, little bit this is higher level. So let's go to the next question. This is a perfectly easy, neat question. It can be asked. Can you see this question and tell me the answer? Which of the following reaction will not give a primary amine? So which reaction, you all know this, right? Hoffman bromamide degradation. Will it give an amine? Absolutely. It will give an amine with one carbon less. You can't see anything. I'm not getting this complaint from others. Can you check? You must have pressed something in your system or some internet problem there. Others, you can all see, right? The screen. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the screen is visible. So can you please check from your end? So the next one here, also lithium aluminum hydride we are using, we are getting CH3, CH2NH2. I like the child who said, obviously C. I like your confidence. I'm hoping you didn't see this and tell. Okay. So here also we will reduce. So we are getting secondary amine CH3NH, And the last one also we are carrying out reduction here. So CH3, CH2NH2. Are you observing that isocyanide gives us secondary amine? So correct answer is option C. Okay, next one. Who can tell me which reaction is this? I just explained to you this type of reaction. It's not a pure reaction. Do you remember which reaction? This is a reaction which is similar to Cope elimination. Hoffman elimination. Okay. So in Hoffman's elimination, like we did in previous example, Cope elimination, same thing we'll do. That is, you need to remove this nitrogen part from which carbon, either this carbon or this carbon, correct? You remove the nitrogen part from the adjacent carbon. That's either here or here. You will be removing hydrogen. From where will you remove, children? From 1 or 2? Remember, this is not SADZEF. It is opposite to SADZEF. So from where will you remove hydrogen? From the carbon having more hydrogen. Which one is that? 1. So remove, yeah, from 1. So remove your nitrogen from here and remove your hydrogen from here. So you get a double bond here. Let's check which is that answer. That's the answer, option B. See, you got a C double bond C here. Okay. I didn't understand what you're asking. Is on added means H plus is getting removed from here, no addition. Okay, let's go to the next one here. This was Hoffman's elimination reaction. This is a perfectly fine, neat question, children. Are you going to do this? Come on, try. Where does which group react? Where does which ortho, who is going para, meta, whom to listen to is an important concept, because we have studied this in first year itself. So the question actually can be mixed and asked here. Work out each step first, you do it. So all such questions which I feel that you should know, I will be giving you time to first solve it before I will be doing it. Okay, fine. So let's check already. So acetylation we are carrying out. So this is what we studied in this chapter. We have a CH3 here, and this is getting acetylated, NHCOCH3. Okay, now we are adding bromine. This is just a solvent here, acid. So if you're adding bromine, question is, will it go here? Ortho, because para is blocked. Will it go to ortho position of this group, or will it go to ortho position of methyl group? Now, methyl group is also an electron releasing, but it actually, very strictly, it releases electrons through hyperconjugation, not through plus M. Hyperconjugation is a weak effect. Mesomeric effect is a strong effect. So we should listen to NHCOCH3, meaning to NHCOCH3's ortho position, we should add Br. The last step is hydrolysis. So we know what to do, right? H and OH. So what do you get here? CH3. Here you have Br, and here you have NH2. This is your answer. That's your answer is option B. Children, in such cases, you should see which group is more plus M and go with orthopara of that group. Okay. So just telling you, must be knowing this order. At least roughly you should be knowing this. Something which is negatively charged is very high plus M group as compared to neutral. So these are all, I'm giving you plus M order in case you've forgotten. O minus, S minus and all are strong electron releasing groups to plus M effect, something minus. Next come our neutral groups. So NH2, you know, is at the top of the list. More than that is NR2. Then comes NHR. Then comes NH2. So basically you can say varieties of NH2 come. Then comes OH. Then comes OR. Now comes your amide, NHCOR. That's the compound that we were talking about. Following that immediately is OC double bond OR. And then comes your phenyl and all those things. Okay. Halogens come last. So phenyl, let's ignore. Halogens come last. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine and all come last. Let's write it as X. This is the plus M order. Okay, so these are the groups that you need to listen to. Follow the direction. Okay, and minus M groups, you should not listen to them when you're, if you have a plus M group and a minus M group. For example, if you're, I think I asked you this question last time. If you have a carboxylic acid here, and if you're having amino group here, and if you're carrying out, say, bromination, NH2 group is a plus M group. So first you try para position, but para position is blocked. So put the bromine on the ortho position. So you are listening to plus M group, not a minus M group. Whenever there is a contrast, this is what you should be doing. Okay, I guess you got this right. So that's what we did in the second step. Someone's asking here, so I'll repeat. We are carrying out bromination. So where does bromine attack? We should listen to NHCOCH3, which is an orthopara director. It's there here. See, it's a plus M group. So first I'm checking para position, but it's blocked. So ortho position, we are putting brome. This is the second step. Hydrolysis gives you NH2 back again. Shall we proceed to next question? Okay. In the diazotization of aryl amine with sodium nitrite and HCl, excess of HCl is used. So this may be asked in NEET boundary line questions. So the reason is we do know diazotization, it's in syllabus. So just understand this, it's not difficult. So when we carry out diazotization, we start with primary aromatic amine and we start to get benzene diazonium chloride. Correct? Excess of HCl is used, meaning on the arrow we write NaNO2 and HCl, right? Excess of HCl is used. The reason they are asking. Now, if I don't use excess of HCl, what might happen? Let's check. What might happen is little bit of aniline, as soon as it forms your benzene diazonium chloride, some little bit more of aniline which is remaining unreacted compound, it will react with your benzene diazonium chloride to give coupling reaction. It will give product azodi. We know that reaction, right? It will give this compound, N double bond N, and then like this, and NH2. Para amino azobenzene is obtained. Okay, little bit of NH2 say has reacted to form benzene diazonium. The little bit which has yet to react might react with the benzene diazonium chloride to give para amino azobenzene. We didn't want this. We just wanted diazonium chloride. So what's the idea? Use HCl in excess. When we use HCl in excess, NH2 becomes NH3 plus. This type of reaction is prevented. Understanding? Anilinium ion is formed and this type of reaction is prevented. So that's why we are using excess of HCl. Let's move to the next question. So the answer here is option A, suppresses the concentration of free aniline. Free aniline is NH2. And now what do we have? NH3 plus. So free aniline is suppressed and therefore coupling cannot happen. What are constituent amines formed when mixture of 1 and 2 undergo Hofmann bromamide degradation? Not a very likely question for NEET exam, but it's an easy question. So Hofmann bromamide degradation reaction occurs intramolecularly within the molecule. So even if you're taking 2 amides and doing the reaction, this amide will react intramolecularly with itself to give the resultant amine. There is no exchange between these two groups, these two compounds. So therefore, a similar amine let's search for. That is this amine, or rather this amine. And a similar amine with 15 nitrogen, let's search for. Here we have this D, so we should not select this one. So from those amides, those particular amines will be obtained. When you remove this CO and when you remove this CO, whatever amines are there, those are our answer. Quickly reminding you the mechanism of Hofmann bromamide, although it is not there in our PO syllabus, but I'm just telling you because it's an important name reaction, just quickly reminding you, that's all. So you start with an amide and first thing is you're adding bromine, right? That bromine will attack here. We'll be getting a bromo compound here, bromo group here. The next step is important. So what happens is this bromide will get lost. At the same time, this alkyl group travels here and attacks here. At the same time, this lone pair of electrons comes here. This intermediate, you try to remember. So this H plus is gone. So you have N, double bond, C, and this double bond O is still there. And my R came here, HBr is lost. So this type of compound, RNCO, is the intermediate of Hofmann bromamide degradation. It's called as isocyanate, not cyanide. Cyanide is only NC. This is NCO. So isocyanate is formed. Further reaction is alkaline hydrolysis takes place. You have KOH, right? So that will cause alkaline hydrolysis. Here you get H2, here you get O. So RNH2 and CO2 is obtained. CO2 reacts with KOH to give K2CO3. So I just want you to keep in your head Hoffman bromamide intermediate is isocyanate, RNCO. Not maybe the whole mechanism, but at least intermediate you try to remember. That's why I mentioned this. Let's go. So here the answer is anyway option B. Here in this reaction, all you have to do is remove this CO, remove this CO. Whichever option is there, that you have to select. Children, this reaction, this question is not at all important for your NEET exam. So there are various reduction reactions that we can do in this chapter to nitro compound, to hydroxylamine, and various reagents are used for each reaction. It's difficult to remember which reagent to use where. So my advice to you, first you do every oxidizing and reducing which is there in a PU part properly. After you finish more and more you want to learn, then you go ahead and learn these things. So I'm not going to solve this. If you want, you can memorize this part. Coming to the next question, this is a perfectly fine, neat question. What is the answer, children? Which of the following reactions does not yield an amine? Correct. So you remember, right? So here we'll be getting RNH2. Further, we can get secondary, tertiary amines also. This one you actually don't know. This is one of those reduction reaction. I'll just tell you here. So you know how we got this, right? We had an aldehyde and we had hydroxylamine and all those things. So here what we'll do is just add hydrogen here, and hydrogen here to remove this. So here also you're getting RCH2 and H2. Of course, you know this reaction properly. Cyanide on hydrolysis gives us carboxylic acid. Cyanide on reduction gives us amine. So option C is our answer here. And the last one anyway, you're doing RCH2 and H2 you'll be getting. Very good. All those who could spot that hydrolysis, sometimes we miss that. Okay. Next one. This is also a perfectly fine, neat question. Can you try it? Reaction of benzyl chloride with sodium cyanide followed by reduction. Simple. When we are using sodium cyanide or potassium cyanide, Cl here will become Cn. When we are reducing, Cn will become CH2, NH2. So we have this compound. You just need to name it. We can call it as 2-phenyl ethanamine, or you can call it as, this is alpha, this is beta. Common name would be beta-phenyl ethylamine. So answer is option A. They have not given an IUPAC name. So let's select the common name, beta-phenyl ethylamine. Understanding? Next one. Yes, children, easy question. Which of the following reagents can be used to convert benzene diazonium chloride to benzene? This particular reaction is important for competitive, okay? Because we can achieve important things, you know, by using this reaction. So yes, correct answer, H3PO2 answer. Also, if ethanol would have been there, that's also a correct answer. Option B. Next one. Once again, simple, easy question. The compound which does not react with CH3COCl. Correct. So we should be having hydrogens, right? Then only we can remove this Cl and this hydrogen. Where is the hydrogen here? We don't have. This is the same reason why acylation does not take place in tertiary amine. This is the same reason why Hinsberg reagent does not react with tertiary amine. Everything is same because there's no hydrogen on this tertiary amine. Answer option C. Next one. Okay. Carbon dioxide. Which reaction do you know, children? Carbon dioxide reacts with what? To give what? If you don't know, you can refer to the options here. Grignard only, right? All our options are Grignard only. Okay. So we now know that carbon dioxide reacts with some Grignard reagent to give, we should know the product. We just did it this week only, to give carboxylic acid. When we are using P2O5 on carboxylic acid, what will we get, children? Correct? Anhydride, right? RCO twice O, anhydride. And now you are adding something to this anhydride and you are getting this compound. Okay. And if you see the options, then these are amines. So we are adding an amine. What reaction is this? Amine gets acylated. Anhydride you are adding. It's similar like adding acyl chloride. That is, you're doing acylation reaction. In this amine, can you spot that acetylate, that group, acyl group? It's right here. Correct? So, meaning there was a hydrogen here and it got substituted by COCH3. It got acylated. So we have our amine right there. Just need to name it. I'll write the reaction now that I know this. So, and this is my group which has been introduced, meaning the anhydride is CH3CO twice O, meaning this R is CH3 here. So I'll just write the whole reaction. CO2 plus CH3 MgX, and this is A. It will give you CH3COOH, which is B. When you're adding P2O5, it gives you CH3CO twice O anhydride. This is C. And to this, so I'm using this, so I'm directly writing this compound. Otherwise, you know that this part has been added. So you take NH and see if it matches this compound. So that amine looks like this. I'm just splitting it up and writing so that we can check the name correctly. Right? This is the amine. This is I've written as CH2CH3 here. This I've written as CH2CH3 here. And this is anyway CH3. Okay, let's name this amine. Let's select the longest chain possible. It should end here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the longest chain. On the second carbon, we have amine group. On nitrogen, we have ethyl. So is it N-ethyl butane 2 amine? Option D is the correct answer. So this is my D compound. Okay. When we carry out, when we add C to this D, then instead of this hydrogen, we'll get COCH3. Did you understand this? Do you want me to write any step again? Okay, let's proceed then. Identify true statement. Ketoxime on reduction gives secondary amine. Do you remember ketoxime? Oxime, do you remember? Oximes which are obtained from ketones are called as ketoximes. So I'm taking a ketone here. If you've forgotten, this is how we prepare oxime, by adding hydroxylamine, aldehydes ketones chapter. You remove these things, CH3, C, CH3, double bond N, OH. So a similar compound we had in one of the previous examples as well. So how this compound undergoes reduction, add some hydrogen here, add some hydrogen here, add some hydrogen here, and remove this. So that means our compound is CH3, CH, CH3, and here we'll have 2 hydrogen, NH2. One more hydrogen adds when you're removing of that OH. So NH2. Is this a secondary amine, children? It's not a secondary amine, right? It's a primary amine. Very important to not get confused here. So this question, I don't see that it can be asked in your final NEET exam, but a similar question might be asked where they might confuse you saying that is this a secondary amine? Okay, so you should be really careful there. So this is not a secondary amine. So this is not a true statement. Let's go next. Secondary amines yield oily nitrosamine on treatment with HNO2. This is a correct statement. Let's come back to that. Option C. Secondary amines do not react with acetyl chloride. This is wrong. We know that it's tertiary amine who do not react with acetyl chloride. Let's come back to that point 2, option B. So we have studied in our PU part how primary aliphatic amine reacts and how primary aromatic amine reacts. Let's quickly recollect how secondary amine reacts. So secondary amine would be like this, R2NH. When you're adding nitrous acid, all you have to do is remove this H2O. So you're getting N-nitroso compound like this. On N, you have nitroso group. N-nitroso compounds are yellow oily liquids that are obtained when you're reacting secondary amine with nitrous acid. Okay, so these compounds are obtained. When you're using tertiary amine, you get a soluble solution, salt you get. But when you're using a tertiary aromatic amine like this, then that nitroso group, because this is highly electron rich, attacks the para position. Green liquid is obtained. You have written this differentiation when you studied in stage 2, the differences between primary, secondary, tertiary amine towards nitrous acid. You can just go through that if interested. Otherwise, we can select option B here. That's the only thing which is correct. Next one. So once again, an easy question, children. Among the following 4 isomeric amines, meaning you don't have to worry about molecular mass, it's going to be same. Who has the lowest boiling point? Who has the lowest boiling point? So here you can see that we have 2 hydrogens for hydrogen bonding, 1 hydrogen, 1 hydrogen. Here you don't have any hydrogens for hydrogen bonding. So answer is option D. Highest boiling point will be option A. Lowest boiling point is option D. Branching is more, okay, rather than branching is the last thing that you see. Okay, everything else is same, then you compare branching. Here, second most important point after molecular masses, your hydrogen bonding. So you consider that. Yeah, when you're considering B and C, that time you can apply that logic, saying B is more branched as compared to C. Okay. Next one. Hinsberg reaction we all are familiar with, right? Let's see this. Secondary amine with Hinsberg reagent forms N-alkyl sulfonamide soluble. It's not soluble, right? It's insoluble in KOH. But is it N-alkyl sulfonamide or is it N-dialkyl sulfonamide insoluble in KOH? You see how they are confusing you with this option? So always my suggestion is read all the options. Okay, all the options you read, very, very thorough also you are, still you read all the options before selecting your answer. So answer is option D. You all know this question, right? So if you're having a secondary amine, R2NH, when you're adding benzene sulfonyl chloride, you get like this, S double bond O, double bond O. Okay, so you can see that on N you have two alkyl groups, N and dialkyl benzene sulfonamide, insoluble in KOH because this nitrogen does not have any hydrogen. We discussed that yesterday. Answer option D. See if you can do this on your own children. First you try, then I'll explain. A series of reactions. Each step is easy only. I'm sure you can do. Done? Are you done? Yeah, alcohol. You're doing oxidation. It will convert into carboxylic acid. So instead of CH2OH, can we write COOH? It's a strong oxidizing reagent. So directly you'll get carboxylic acid. SOCl2 we have. In of OH, we should write Cl, COCl. Okay. And this reaction is from our acyl chloride here. This part only I'm changing here, right? So I have acyl chloride here. How will it react with this amine? Hydrogen goes with this Cl. Now I'll write this compound. So you have this group. I'm just writing bond line here because that part seems to be not very important. Then we have CH2. Then we had C double bond O Cl, right? But instead of that Cl, which went with hydrogen, now I have NCH3, CH3. This part. Now we are adding lithium aluminum hydride, add some H2, and that's it. Okay, so this is the answer. Let's search for this answer. Looks like this compound. CH3, we have CCH3, CH3, then you have CH2, CH2, NCH3 twice. Option D is your answer. Did you all get the correct answer? So first few part, that is where you get A and P, that was a carboxylic acid part, and the C and D were from our amines part. Combined, they have asked question. Okay, good. Who all have done? Very good. Let's proceed to next one. Aniline, when diazotized in cold and then treated with dimethyl aniline, gives a colored product. What is its structure? So once aniline, what does it become, children? Benzene diazonium chloride. So one structure will be this structure, and dimethyl aniline is one more structure like this. So this hydrogen should go with the Cl. So you should have N double bond N group, then you should have this group. I don't see it in option A. I don't see it in option B also. One NCH3 twice should be there, dimethyl part. Okay, let's go to the next options. Do you see it here? NCH3 twice part is present here, and here I don't have anything. And here I have the azo group. This is perfect. Okay. Last one, you don't even have the azo group, so that's not correct there. Option C is the correct answer. Coupling reaction you learn. Although it's reduced from PU, it can surely be asked in competitive. Next one. 3-nitroaniline is subjected to, okay, children, in this question, the first part and the second part is within your PU syllabus. This part is not. So can you come till here? 3-nitroaniline. First of all, the compound. Done, right? So we'll get diazonium chloride. Nitro group is as such. And the next, when we are adding Ki, the diazo group gets replaced by iodo. So like this we go. Such compounds, when they say copper, once again, this is negligible chance of it appearing in your NEET exam. If you're writing JEE main and all, maybe. So when you're using copper powder, two compounds react together to attach with each other, somewhat similar to your Fittig reaction. Okay, so two rings, benzene ring or phenyl rings, attach with each other wherever there is that iodo group. So iodo gets lost with this copper, CuI2 gets lost, and NO2 group is still there. So just see, this is one position where they have joined. Next meta position we had NO2 group. Here also meta position we have NO2 group. This is our product. So biphenyl, just like how you wrote for Fittig reaction, biphenyl, right? It's kind of similar to that. So in Fittig reaction, if you remember, we take chlorobenzene plus chlorobenzene plus 2N, right? When instead of Na, when you're taking copper, the same reaction is called as Ullmann reaction. Okay, so Ullmann reaction is kind of like Fittig reaction. So how you remove 2 NaCl and connect these phenyl rings, similar thing we are doing here. Name of this compound can be called as dinitro-biphenyl. Where are the dinitro? At 3 and 3' position. So this position is 1, 2, 3, and this position is 1', 2', 3'. So 3, 3' position. So the last part of this question may not be asked in your NEET exam. 1 and 2 you should know properly. Next question. Looks perfectly fine, NEET question. Very simple it looks. Try, children. Write the reaction. Remember what is propane nitrile. Total number of carbons are 3. So reacts with A to give B. And if you're seeing, they have given A. So you can see that A is Grignard reagent. Nitrile, on reacting with Grignard reagent, what do we get, children? Who can answer this question? Nitrile plus Grignard reagent, what do we get? Correct. Only one answer correctly. Here. Okay, what children today? Someone is saying we can't see, someone is saying we can't hear. Can't understand. No problem is in my voice. Very good. Now I'm giving a correct answer. So Grignard react with nitrile to ketone. Okay, we should know this. We have studied propane reaction. We will be getting a ketone. So I'll write that ketone here. And R, whatever is that Grignard part will come here. Okay, now the compound B on addition of HCN. You know how to add HCN? Hydrogen adds to oxygen, CN adds to carbon. And reduce it. Compare it with this compound. Did you get it? Okay, see, when I compared it, I got this part was common, CH3, CH2, COH, CH2, NH2. This part was common. So what is our this part? Where is this part? CH3 twice, CH, CH2. That's option D. If this whole thing is very confusing for you, you can also count the carbons and do this reaction. Okay. So propane nitrile, meaning we have 3 carbons, reacts with A to give B, meaning B also has 3 carbons. Now we are adding HCN, meaning you added 1 more carbon. We have 4 carbons, and 4 carbon compound is giving you this compound. That is, when you write the structure of this compound, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 carbons. So 4 carbon is giving you 8 carbon, meaning you are going to add 4 carbon. You can immediately rule out these two, and you can rule out this also. So the only option remaining is option D. In Grignard reaction and all, carbon counting, if you're little bit, you have understood thoroughly these reactions, then easily you can do by counting the carbons. Okay. Did you understand the carbon counting? Did you understand the reaction? Or at least any one method to solve this? Next. Intermediates formed. Okay, good. They're asking this question. So I don't know, because Hoffman bromamide reaction is so important for PU, it would help if you remember the intermediate for NEET exam. So like I was telling for you, the intermediates, RCONHBr is obtained first in the mechanism, and then isocyanate, RNCO is obtained. So just make a note of it. Maybe not very important, but just keep it in your head. Next one. Very easy question, children, and perfect NEET question. Nowadays, NEET has become so easy in organic chemistry. I don't know about your other subjects. In organic chemistry, it's surely become easy. Can you tell me what's the answer for this? Propionamide we are starting with, and if it's undergoing Hoffman degradation, meaning we should get an amine with 1 carbon less, correct? So propionamide meaning 3 carbon, we will be getting an amine with 2 carbon. You all agree with option B? So propionamide meaning this compound, CH3, CH2, CONH2, and we will be getting ethanamine, CH3, CH2, NH2. Okay, next one. This reagent for converting 2-phenyl, let's write that. 2-phenyl propanamide to 2-phenyl propanamide. Okay, we don't even need to write, I guess. You know how to convert amide to amine. How do we convert amide to amine? When we are retaining the number of carbons. If you're seeing, if it is propanamide to propanamine, carbon count is retained. So it's not Hoffman bromamide. So we should not select. By the way, in Hoffman's bromamide, we use alcoholic KOH. Okay, just mentioning. But anyway, even so, we should not select this. So answer as lithium aluminum hydride will use CO becomes CH2. Next one. Alkyl or benzyl halide on reaction with ethanolic solution of ammonia. Children, this reaction, Hoffman ammonolysis. What do we do in this reaction? Which type of reaction is this? You remove X minus, in its place you're adding NH2 minus. Nucleophilic substitution reaction. We know that haloalkanes are experts at nucleophilic substitution reaction. That's the reaction occurring here. CCl2 intermediate, dichlorocarbene intermediate is two reactions. One is wherever you are using CHCl3 and alcoholic KOH. Where do you use, children? So alcoholic KOH causes elimination reaction. So you remove hydrogen and you remove chlorine. So that's where you are getting dichlorocarbene. So I'm happy that you remember this. In spite of this not being in NCERT, many times it has been asked in CET itself. So I'm hoping you all also make a note of that. So dichlorocarbene is obtained in two reactions. We are using this combination. One is Reimer-Tiemann reaction and one is carbylamine reaction in this chapter, right? Yeah. So those two reactions, you'll be getting dichlorocarbene. Okay, coming to this question here. Which of the following should be most volatile? Most volatile meaning it's evaporating easily, meaning it has a lesser boiling point. So who has a lesser boiling point is the question. Now this question is pretty confusing if you see the options. Okay, so I'm sure if this answer was not there, you would all told me this one, right? Here we have two hydrogen. Here we have no hydrogen. Here we have hydrogen. I'm sure you would have told this, right? But compare it with this hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon has not even dipole interaction. Here at least we have a carbon attached to nitrogen. So that's there. So dipole interaction is there. Molecular mass also correct point, because there in that ethane, they should have rather compared it with butane. So ethane, propane, sorry, here they have asked propane. 3 carbons are there, and all the rest of the compounds, you have 3 carbon plus 1 nitrogen. So that's the first point. The second point is, even if this was butane, then it would become comparable molecular mass. Even then, we should know that hydrocarbons have very less boiling point because they don't have dipole interaction. Forget hydrogen bonding and other things. Okay, so answer is clearly option 4. That is this option B. Okay. If we don't have this, then yeah, we can select 2. So a little confusing there. Next one, which of the following statements is correct? Is ammonia more basic than methylamine? No, right? Methylamine plus I effect, more basic, important PU question. So no. Methylamine, is it more basic than ammonia? Yes. One of these has to be correct. So it's option B. Dimethylamine is less basic than methylamine? Not possible. Dimethylamine is a secondary amine. Secondary amine is more basic, although they have not specified here solvent. If they have not specified, assume aqueous. Dimethylamine is less basic than trimethylamine. Once again, dimethylamine is secondary amine. It will be the most basic. Answer is option B. Simple question. So let's go ahead. Check, children, very, very easy question. But don't think that such question will not be asked. It can be asked. I'm telling you, easy questions can be asked in NEET. So make sure you're doing all types of questions, especially easy questions. Carbylamine reaction, everyone remembers? What we require is primary amine, we require KOH, and we require chloroform, right? So what's our answer? Option A, primary amine and chloroform. Option A, easy question. You should also know such answers. This is also very, very easy question. So students here, what all you're asking, madam? First you're asking some CET portion. Now you're asking last class or not. Any chemistry doubts you have in this chapter, you ask, okay? I really don't know whether this is the last class or not. According to the schedule given to me, next week also we have some topics to be done, coordination compounds, biomolecules, polymers, etc. So if classes are allocated, I will take class and I will do. If it's not allocated, I will not. Okay. Answer to this question back again. So I think it's because of you think it's the last class and all, you're asking some questions and all. Next, you'll be asking me what movie I watched and all that. Let's come back here to this question. So let's remove hydrogen. Let's remove Cl. That's our answer. You all agree with option A? Next. Carbylamine is used for detection of so good question you have. See, I like such question. So the point is, as excess is used here, should we be replacing both hydrogen is the question. No, that does not happen. Okay, so it's not a reaction like alkylation where you go on replacing this hydrogen. We didn't talk about that, right? So here only one hydrogen gets replaced. The reason for that may be that it's because once you get this, then this is resonance stabilized. Okay, so like this type of a reaction, and further hydrogen cannot be removed. So that's the reason. But whereas if you're taking primary amine, then you go on doing alkylation, right? That's not this type of reaction. Here only once the reaction occurs. Good point. Okay, next one. I think we did that, right? No, we didn't. Carbylamine reaction is used for detection of primary amine, right? Aliphatic primary amine, aromatic primary amine as well. So let's select once again option D. So the people who are setting this paper, they are hoping that you'll get so excited by seeing aliphatic primary amine and all, and you'll mark off your answer. That's why, once again, moral is read all options. Next one. Primary amine can be distinguished from secondary and tertiary by, once again, option A, chloroform and KOH. Carbylamine reaction can be undergone only by primary amine, not by secondary and tertiary. That is, foul smelling, offensive odor is observed only in primary amine. That's the observation seen. This is kind of an interesting question. Till now we had all easy, so a little bit. All three amines, primary, secondary, tertiary, can they react with haloalkane? Can a tertiary amine react with haloalkane? It can react, right? So tertiary amine reacts with haloalkane to form quaternary ammonium salt. Once more, it can react, correct? Okay, so it can react, correct. Can it react with HCl? This is one distinguishing test for amines. Amines are basic, so they do react with HCl. Every time you'll get that NH plus, like for example, RNH2. If it reacts with HCl, it will give this salt RNH3 plus Cl minus. Like the salt is obtained. Okay, so it can react with HCl. This is a reaction specialization of amines. Can all 3 amines react with acetyl, acetic anhydride? No, only the ones which have those hydrogen or nitrogen. That is primary and secondary can react, not tertiary. So answer is 1 and 2. Option A. Okay with this, children? Next one. This question is actually a little tricky. When bromination of aniline is carried out by protecting NH2, you remember this, right? If you're doing NH2 and then you're directly adding bromine water, reaction takes place at all ortho-para positions. Instead, if you're protecting this group by acetylating it, now carrying out bromination, we said that we get para-bromo acetanilide, and then after hydrolysis, we get para-bromo aniline, right? But before you select this, we also get a little bit of ortho product. It just became similar to any reaction, any other reaction like you have done in chlorobenzene or we have done in anisole. You get both ortho and para product. Para is the major product. So we are telling that para we are getting. So it's good that we had this question because I wanted to clarify. Yesterday I was stressing we get para-bromo aniline. We also get a little bit of ortho product. So answer is option D. Mixture of ortho and para-bromo aniline is obtained. Similarly, in the next reaction also, mixture of ortho and para-nitroaniline is obtained. Okay. Next one. Acylation reaction of amine is carried out in presence of pyridine. Pyridine acts as a weak base and it will react with HCl form and the equilibrium shifts to the right hand side. So option 3 is the correct answer. But then we have multiple answers to select here. The main reason is option C only, children. So if you know this reason, it's enough. There is something wrong with this answer set. I'm not sure what, but surely it's not option A because it's not 1 and 3. Pyridine is not a stronger base than amine. Pyridine is a weak base. In pyridine, we have sp2 hybridized nitrogen. sp2 hybridized nitrogen, whereas in amines, we have an sp3 hybridized nitrogen. sp3 hybridized nitrogen is more basic than sp2. So let's just remember this reason. Okay, and if you have to select, please select pyridine is a weak base. Next one. I think they had asked this question once before. The reagent that can be used to convert benzene diazonium chloride to benzene. H3PO2 can be used. Also ethanol can be used. So answer 2 and 3. Agree? Going a little fast here because all these seem to be very easy questions. Oh, is it? But pyridine actually is a pretty weak base, meaning it's stronger base as compared to pyrrole and all. But compared to, compared to aniline also it is stronger. Okay, but you follow NCERT. Okay, what NCERT says. The main reason is that only that it removes all the HCl. Okay, next one here. Some assertion reason questioning, although might not be asked in NEET exam, but still let's go through it. Some other way it can be asked. Nitration of aniline can be done by protecting amino group by acylation. Correct? Acylation increases electron density in benzene? No, it decreases the electron density. That's the reason we are doing it. So assertion is correct, but reason is incorrect. Option C. Agreed. So although it might not be asked in assertion reason form, they can ask give reason or something. So you should know. So we are acetyling that NH2 group such that the electron density is reduced in benzene. Next one. Aniline does not undergo Friedel-Crafts. NH2 group of aniline reacts with AlCl3. This is a perfect assertion. Reasoning is also perfect. So answer is option A. Next one. A primary amine is formed by an amide on treatment with bromine and alkali. The primary amine has, easy question. So we are talking about Hoffman bromamide. Immediately you should recognize by seeing bromine and alkali. So an amine is formed from an amide with 1 carbon less. Option A. And towards electrophilic substitution, most reactive will be. Who will be most reactive? Aniline itself. NH2 group is more plus M group as compared to N-acetyl. As compared to nitro. And the most minus M group here is this anilinium. Aniline hydrochloride, meaning it has become NH3 plus. This is a minus M. This is also minus M. But this is the most minus M. Something which is positive withdraws electrons from benzene. So this is order electrophilic substitution. Understanding, children? So that was the last question. Any question you had, any doubt? Do you want to see these questions? Previous year questions, shall we discuss? Okay, we'll just check that then. Okay. Starting with nitrobenzene, just go on explaining, okay? Because we don't. So benzene. To that we are carrying out bromination, nitro so reagent. So NO2 group becomes NH2 group. Next, we are using diazonium chloride HCl. So NH2 group becomes N2Cl, diazonium chloride. Next, we are warming with water. So N2Cl becomes OH. So our answer is option D. Bromine and CET paper last year. For what question this is? Option D. Benzene, sulfonyl chloride. C6H5, SO2, Cl. Next question. Which of the following is least soluble in compound will be least soluble in if it is hydrogen bonding. You don't have to clear one or you have number of hydrogens. So here we can see that tertiary, that's the first option. Does not have any hydrogens, that one which is least soluble in. You'll see it comes some 2-3 times in various papers. So this it has come in C. If aniline is treated with H2SO4, para-nitroaniline, meta-nitro are formed nearly in equal amounts. This is due to protonation of N, which deactivation of benzene ring is the correct answer. Meta directing is also meta. So first option, H2 group, NH3 it's the benzene, so meta position. Of benzene diazone aniline, the name of that is attaches to of this this part is as azobenzene. Okay. Is used in preparation of amine, not used during the process. KOH we use, NaOH also we can use. Aldehyde we are using. HCl is something that we use in this reaction. First step we use KOH or NaOH. Second step is halogen. Step once again we use KOH or NaOH. Okay, children, some problem with voice again, I think. Let me know if it does not get clear. Okay. Now, correct order of using basic nature. Not clear? Okay. Okay, I think it should be clear now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. So a little bit problem with internet today. So next one, correct order of increasing basic nature. So we can clearly see have secondary amine. Anyway, they have specified aqueous. Please check whether they have mentioned gaseous or aprotic. Here they have clearly mentioned aqueous. So secondary amine is more basic. Next comes primary. Next comes ammonia. Option C. Next question. In the following sequence of reaction, A on reduction gives B. Nitrous acid, we are getting ethanol. Let's work this reaction backward. So must have started with ethanamine, right? CH3, CH2, NH2 on nitrous acid. This is what is giving us ethanol. Primary amine we start with. Now reduction. Who on reduction gives us ethane amine? Let's check. Propane nitrile has 3 carbon. Not correct. Ethane nitrile has 2 carbons, CH3CN. So answer is option B. Okay. Nitromethane anyway has 1 carbon. This is anyway give you secondary amine. Next question. An organic compound A on reduction gives B, which on reaction with trichloromethane. So this reaction we know properly. Trichloromethane and KOH form C. So we know that this is isocyanide. So we know this is primary amine. On reaction, reduction gives N-methyl benzenamine. Let's write that. This is benzenamine. On N we have methyl. This clearly tells us that C is NC. See, on reduction of this, we got this part. How do I get this? Only one way. We should start with aniline and carry out carbylamine reaction. Let's see how we can get aniline. Surely not from nitromethane. We can get it from nitrobenzene. So that's our correct answer. Option B. You're all with me, children? Next question. Now we are starting neat questions. Which of the following reaction is appropriate for converting acetamide to methenamine? Look at the level of this question. I'm hoping everyone present here, few of you, of course, have gotten tired and escaped, but the children who are present here, 44, all 44 of you, I'm sure know this reaction, acetamide to methenamine, meaning Hofmann bromamide degradation, right? Okay, let's select that. So a little bit tricky here because not very much, little, because they said hypobromamide. It's the same thing, children. So Hofmann hypobromamide reaction is our correct answer. Next one here, the correct increasing order of basic strength. So let's see all these compounds. We know that NO2 group is an electron withdrawing group, -M group. Methyl group is an electron releasing group. So 3 will be more basic. Electron releasing group increase basic character as compared to 1. Last comes 2 here. That is our answer is option 3. The next question is our 2020 question. Which of the following amine will give carbylamine test? To give carbylamine test, we should have primary amine. This is a secondary amine. This is a tertiary amine. This is a secondary amine. Answer is option D. That is a primary amine, aniline. Next question, repeated question. We just saw it somewhere. Nitration of aniline in strong acidic medium gives M-nitroaniline because option 3. In acidic or strong medium, aniline is present as anilinium ion. Okay, option 3 is our right answer. Okay, let's proceed, children. We have less time here, but I guess at least this page we can finish. The major product of the following reaction. So you're taking phthalic acid, you're adding ammonia, strong heating, we get phthalimide, right? Next one. Correct order of basic strength of, once again, in aqueous solution there was. So similar question. We know that secondary amine will be more basic than primary than tertiary. Option 1. Question here, this is from JE paper this year actually. Amine, little difficult because it's from JE paper, but nothing out of syllabus. Amine on reacting with Hinsberg reagent gives a product which is insoluble in base. What does this tell us? That the amine is a secondary amine. Further, they have given information. This amine can be prepared by ammonolysis of ethyl chloride. So ethyl chloride is going to undergo this type of reaction, meaning you'll have at least one ethyl group somewhere. So what's our answer? If you check everywhere else, we don't have an ethyl group. Here we have propyl, here you have anyway benzene. Here we have propyl, here we have propyl. This is the only place where you're having ethyl, and plus it's also a secondary amine. So option B is our answer.